Are you obsessed with transformation? When you think of Pluto, does it ignite you? Do you feel naturally swayed to the death and rebirth process? If so, you probably are someone who goes through a lot of identity transformations, and how Pluto comes to play with that is so important. I want to talk about identity transformations and why certain people go through more transformational experiences. I'm going to bring it through astrology, and then also I'm going to go through it with like lived experience. So if that ignites something in you, then keep watching. Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Katerina. I help you understand your lived experience through astrology, but also help you understand astrology through your lived experience. I help you get to like the rawest, most authentic version of yourself through understanding your core wounds and using astrology with that. All the information is down below. There are a group of people in this world where they just naturally have like these transformations, whether it's identity, whether it's more relationships, whether it's a career one. They just tend to go through a lot more transformations that change their whole world or their whole life or even just their internal world. And why do these people go through that? Part of it is choice, and part of it is the astrology from their birth chart. I spoke about it before, which is like the Pluto transit, and I really loved having that conversation. And I'd love to delve deeper into the the natal part of it and understanding why you go through those transformational experiences. Now, let's speak about conjunctions because that's where I'm going to start when we talk about Pluto in your natal chart. Conjunctions are a fusion, they are two entities, two planets, obviously, but like two relationships, two identities, two embodiments, whatever word you want to say. They're two and they are fused together. They create a relationship of one. So if you have your Mercury conjunct Chiron, you would have a wound there around the way that you communicate and the way that you think. So when we look at conjunctions with Pluto, we're looking at the lens of that fusion. So Pluto, the planet of transformation, death and rebirth, raw, powerful self, power driven, but from truth, from raw self. Like it's burns down anything that doesn't stand on truth. It will burn down any secrets. It will reveal stuff. It is not so much Neptunian as in like secrets dissolve type of energy. It's just more as in you, if there's anything that's built on lies or deception or secrecy, it either amplifies that energy or it like strips it down. That's Pluto as a planet, psychological realm of Pluto. Now, your inner planets, they are your daily self. Inner planets move quicker, they're not as slow as the outer planets. So, inner planets determine how you speak, how you show up, what your core identity is, how you love, your emotional state. So, when you have Pluto, the transformational planet, let's just call it that for now, conjunct an inner planet, that will affect your day to day, that will affect your week by week, month by month, that will have a play on how you are perceived and also how you go through your life. So if you have Pluto conjunct your moon, you probably are going through like, you're either fighting it, and it could be like the manipulative side or the secrecy side, but you could also be going through lots of emotional transformations. It could be that you are obsessed with therapy. You're obsessed with like this writing of like deep thoughts. Some of the really good like songwriters have Pluto main conjunction. It's just like you're bringing emotion into this like realm of depth. If you have Pluto Venus conjunction like me, if you have Pluto and Scorpio, then we have the same. Um, but if you have that, it's like two double-ended sword. You have one where you like really just are obsessed with depth in relationships, in love. You can't do superficial. You can't do surface level. You struggle with that completely. And for a long time, you might think there's something wrong with you with that. Like people always say you're too deep, but you just can't help it. Like you're like, this is me. And then astrology gave me a lens to be able to understand, oh, this is me. That's cool. I don't need to hide that so much anymore. But before, it would be when I was dating, I was just bored on dates. It was such a surface level conversation, but it scares a lot of people when I understand and appreciate that, to go on a first date and tell me like your deepest, darkest fears. Like I am that. I want like meaning, deep meaning in a conversation, especially when it comes to love. And not everyone is able to really match that. Um, because they're not used to that level of conversation with someone that they've met. And I completely understand and get that. It also can make you a bit addicted to that transformation. So, a subconscious loop is that you keep attracting the same partners because you actually have created this loop in your head that, like, plutonic relationships, that transformational relationship must come with chaos. And I've had to learn that the really hard way and understand that actually the chaos does not define whether a relationship has that depth or not. And the chaos is actually something that Pluto doesn't want for me. Like Pluto wants me to be seen, wants me to feel valued, wants me to be loved and adored and do the same, but with someone who sees my depth, not someone who brings chaos. And I sometimes would get addicted to the chaos part because I thought that was the way for transformational love. Obviously, I didn't know that at the time, I couldn't articulate that at the time. But now looking back and knowing my planets, I'm like, oh, that's why you kept choosing that partner, because the chaos was a bit addictive. And I think genuinely, like, probably a lot of people who have Pluto conjunct an inner planet would feel that. If you have Pluto conjunct an angle, this is where it gets interesting for me, because it's, for instance, if you have Pluto conjunct ascendant, even if you are not like, let's just say modern ruler, obviously Scorpio Pluto, the Scorpio themes sometimes, like they're very Mars, but they do tie into those like eighth house themes, which can get tied a little bit into Platonic themes. Plutonian. Am I saying it right? Is it Plutonic or Plutonian? I don't know. Um, so you might be perceived as someone who's super magnetic, super draws you in. You might be really mysterious, even if like, I don't know, I'm thinking about in our lifetime, Pluto, even if like you're a Libra rising and you were born with Pluto and Libra and it's conjunct to your ascendant, even though Libra is very like charming in terms of an ascendant sign, it can be quite people pleasing, it can be quite wants fairness and everything, so therefore they might diminish themselves to create that fairness. The Pluto will create that like deeply mysterious self. If you have Pluto conjunct your descendant, you will always attract possibly the power dynamic relationships, also the chaotic relationships, the transformational relationships. Chaos would be something that comes with Pluto, again, if you're not listening. So if you are aligned with your partner and you know that that person is for you and they push you and it's a very therapeutic relationship, then that is the transformation. They are helping you transform your the way who you are in the relationship and outside of it. But if you are with someone who, and there is a lot of power dynamics, it could feel chaotic. It could feel like, even to the point of like every day just feels like a chaotic relationship. And it's your lesson in life to realize you don't need to diminish yourself. You do not need to like make your power less to have someone in your life. You can show up as your raw, authentic self with partnerships, and that's okay. But it might be who you attract with your descendant. If your MC is conjunct your Pluto, your career is meant to be the transformational career, the depth that you might go through transformational careers, or you might be someone who helps people transform. I have Scorpio MC, and my Pluto and Venus conjunction is in there. It's around 10 degrees separated, so like it's not a conjunction at all, but it's still in the same house. So I do have that transformational part of myself in my career, but that's also how I attract. That's a deeper part of it. But the Pluto MC conjunction, you'll either go through these really transformational careers, these moments of you just feel like you need to go back to school and study again. It's not so much, it might not be chaotic unless you fight it and you're staying in the same job for too long, but you also just naturally will be someone who seeks depth in the career. These are, you know, the superficial things of like Scorpio MC or something is like a therapist or a private investigator or whatever. But it can also be like great therapy coaches, like great transformational coaches. It could be a career in something where some people are like, what does she do? Is that a job? Like it could be those kind of things where people are, they seek your career, they seek you for you. Like it could be someone like they seek your career, like they seek your business for you, for the transformation that you bring, not necessarily for what you say you do on your website, but just like they're magnetized towards you and they're magnetized towards the words that come out of your mouth or the healing that you give or just you as yourself. That can be based on your career. This can also be the same thing when you do have, again, Pluto conjunct an inner planet. It just shows up in different ways. So again, if you have Pluto and Venus conjunction, you are really naturally magnetic. You are mysterious. People might, and that's not me putting myself up on a certain thing or whatever. It's just like those are the characteristics of Venus and Pluto conjunction. People just don't know why, but they might find you a little bit daunting. They might find you a little bit scary, a bit mysterious, and they can't figure out why. It might just be this energy that you're exuding. it might just be this energy that's coming out of you, and it's just natural, like it's just who you are, it's part of you. The same with the sun, but it depends on your rising if you hide this or mask this. But if you have Pluto conjunct your sun, it might be that, like, if you're in a safe space with people that you know, you might be someone who is drawn to like transformational things. You might get obsessed with like being seen as someone who seeks transformation. You might be someone who idealizes transformation, these death and rebirth like cycles with yourself. You might love. It might be something that you naturally do. Again, that fusion, it's part of you. And it just is something where, again, if you don't mask it, because your rising sign can give you a bit of a, this is the energy that you give off, whereas your core identity is something that isn't always like as confidently shown, depending on who your circle is and who you hang out with and whatever. But that's the kind of energy of Pluto conjunct the sun. If you have Pluto conjunct your Mercury, you are someone who craves those deep conversations. You are someone who really, I feel like those are the people that potentially could be like great writers, like even the songwriter part, but your emotional state will be in there. But someone who just like writes, and the words that they come out with are so heavy, but also so, like, you make people feel seen. You might make people a bit scared at the same time. You might make them fear themselves, fear the transformation within themselves. That's the kind of energy. And honestly, all of them kind of merge into one another. Sometimes, like, you can, if you have a Pluto Venus conjunction, like, I love talking about deep shit, so that's more of the Mercury themes, but they do really all encompass each other sometimes when you do have a Pluto conjunction with an inner planet. So those are the people that naturally would be obsessed with transformational experiences, those rebirths. If you have Pluto in the first house, that is kind of a given. Like, that is kind of, you might wear a lot of masks because you fear showing your true one. You might also go through those experiences where you naturally have burnt all the masks. That takes time. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're not going to be 25 and know yourself so truly, authentically. You'll go through experiences that will keep burning that mask. But those would be identity transformations more of in with Pluto in the first. If you had Pluto in the seventh, you would go through those transformational relationships that evolve your identity. They evolve the person you are, and you continue to show up as someone different. The experience is what has created the identity rebirth. The same with other houses, but it's like seventh is relationships and people. So it would come in and evolve you and whatever. But that could change your identity in a way because the polarity of it. When Pluto is in the other houses, yes, fourth and 10th are angular houses, and they can give shifts in your life, external shifts, but the identity part of it, like the traditional view of identity, I believe would be more of like a one first house, seventh house theme, whereas the other ones could change bits of you. Like, everything is identity at the end of the day. It's just like the arena of life. So for instance, I've had the most transformational experiences And the parts that I fear the most are to do with community, because I have Scorpio in my 11th house. So I look back on my life and I have gone through those really intense relationships with friendships. I've been deceived, I've been lied, I've been bullied about with like close friends. I have been in groups and not seen and not understood. And every experience I've had is a transformational experience when it comes to community and those 11th house themes. And then when I do put myself in spaces that align with me, it's scary because I'm used to putting myself behind and in making myself a little bit invisible so I don't go through those traumatic experiences with friendships. And that's the wounded version of me. And when I do the heal version of me, it does jolt me because it's like, oh, that person said that, and then did they mean this? And it's, you kind of, it does tend to magnify the areas of life where Pluto is in. But the identity part is partly with an inner planet conjunction with Pluto, a angle or the houses that kind of I view as representation of identity. And when you do go through transformational relationships, they do form a different version of you. So that's why I say the 7th house. When it comes to, like, take astrology out of it for a second, and when it comes to the identity transformations and why certain people have more, I do believe that is also a choice. I do believe those people are the people that are just over being a certain way and they want to transform. They want to quantum leap into a different version of themselves, and they will do so. They embody the highest version of themselves, they embody a new version of themselves. And those people are the people that naturally would go through those epic transformations. So if you're here and you're like, I really want to be someone else, I want to have this like different identity, I just don't want to show up as I have done, then you have to show up different. You have to sit with yourself and be like, okay, what will I tolerate? What will I not? How will I, like, what question will I say to myself whenever I feel like I want to go backwards into my comfort zone? And it takes dedication, it takes devotion, but who would you rather be? Because ultimately, the path is yours, the choices are yours. Yes, planets can have a say in certain things, but you have a say on whether you're going to get on that train or not. The transformational experiences that come to you or that you seek, you're standing at the platform and the trains are going by, you've got to get on the train. You don't know where it will go, but all you know is you cannot be here anymore and you need to change. If you are not taking that choice to change, if you are not taking that choice to stand onto the actual train and go somewhere different, try something new, do something different, you will continue to have the same life. The choice is with you at the end of the day. Yes, you may seek certain things if you have Pluto conjunct something or Pluto in a house, but at the end of the day, it's you. You choose it or not. I've seen people who have Pluto in the 7th and they continue to choose the toxic relationship because out of fear. They will continue to have those experiences because they're not choosing to get on a train. And I'm not diminishing them. I'm not putting any energy out like negatively towards them. It's just what I see. We have autonomy over our life and we can make things happen or not. And, you know, I love astrology, but sometimes when you look at this, even when you put your things into someone else's hands, whether it's the universe or God or a deity, whatever, yes, that is partial, like it's 30% them, I believe, but 70% is you showing up for it, you taking that choice and deciding to push forward and go like, okay, well, I don't want to be that person anymore that doesn't set boundaries, so I've got to start setting boundaries. Yes, it's scary, but the more you do it, the less scary it is. And that's transformation. If you want to have a life that is different to the life that you have now, and not shaming the life that you have now. You have to love your life now. You're in it. You don't know when you will leave this earth. Like, adore your life now. You have to have joy in it. But if you are always wanting to evolve into someone else or evolve into a different job or whatever it is, you have to look and say, are you making the choices daily to make that happen? You know, it's so simple, but when you think about body transformations, they are doing it because they show up for it. They're not doing it and putting it out into the universe and hoping for one day it to get better. Some people do manifest that, some people do make that happen, but I truly believe that if you have the trauma there, that is less likely to happen because you have core beliefs that are blocking it. Like, you could truly believe that you could earn, I don't know, £5,000 a month, let's just say. But if you have a block there that is sending frequencies out, that is like, I don't deserve that, or I can't hold that, or I'm anxious to let go, it won't come because it's like circling back. You are the core, you are the vessel, and it's meant to go through you and out, right? But if you have a block here, it can't go through. So therefore, you're not receiving the abundance. The core wounds is where it's at. It's such a plutonic thing. Like, you you need to have awareness of your core wounds in order to be able to show up as your most authentic self. You cannot do it not knowing why you do certain things. I'm sorry, you just can't. You'll fail at some point in your life. You'll go back and repeat the same patterns. You need to know deep down why you do certain things. And that will help you always show up for yourself, always be devoted to yourself. But that also takes actionable steps. That also takes you trying something different and knowing, like, I know if I don't want to do something, it's most likely my nervous system trying to stop me because it doesn't feel safe. But that's my nervous system, that's not me. I'm going to do it, and I'm going to prove to you that we can do it. We are safe because I am safe. I'm here. I'm okay. You are the block. Your thought patterns are the block. And if you had the key to like stop that block, to stop that pattern, would you? That was my little pep talk, and I hope I didn't come on too strong, but I don't know, I feel like a lot of people don't realize the power within themselves that they have. And they let people who have done horrible things to them, have done certain things to them, they let those people tell them how they should be in their life. And we can't help it. We're humans. Like, I'm not, like, I have been the exact same, but I've been out of it now. I am out of those patterns and loops, and I don't want to go back. I can see how much of a beautiful life I can build. I don't want to go back to those patterns. I will no longer be that person because I know why she does things. And it does make you a little bit icky when you repeat those patterns, knowing why you do it. Anyway, I think that's it for now. If you're interested in having a reading with me, then everything is linked below. All my information is down below. So if you're interested in that, then have a look. Other than that, I hope you have a really good week, and I will see you next week.